Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your bonus reading for November 2025. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Laura, aka Baby Curl Tarot. I'm a tarot reader, astrologer, and root worker, and I love doing monthly readings for all the zodiac signs here on YouTube, as well as some other fun content over on TikTok and Instagram. You guys were one of the top 3 zodiac signs that engaged with my content the most this month, so I'm going to be doing a bonus love reading and general reading for you guys today. Let's go ahead and jump right on into the love reading and see what comes up. Also, Scorpios, please keep in mind if things are not resonating with your specific life situation, please do not take this as a message, a direct message to you. It may just be a message for another Scorpio out there. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Use your own intuition and common sense. Okay? All right. Spiritual team, archetype cards. What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective regarding their person? What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective regarding their person? By the way, happy birthday, Scorpios. I know we're at the tail end of Scorpio season, but I had to say it one more time. I'm a Scorpio too, so I hope all my fellow Scorpios had a great birthday season. All right, let's take a look at what you got. So the first card at the top of the deck is God. It was upright, so we're going to read the light attributes. It says benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So this is supposed to represent your person. Are y'all dating God? How did y'all meet? Is that on Bumble? I'm just joking. All right. Bottom of the deck, what do we have? King in reverse. Interesting. Okay, so because it's in reverse, we're going to look at the shadow attributes. So it says excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. It started out so good, Scorpios. What could this mean? You got a God and a king in one person, and the king is in the reverse. I feel like, and you know what? In true Scorpio fashion, we see both the good and the bad in everybody. Is the bad worth it though? I guess we got to figure that out for ourselves in our each and individual situations. But I feel like this person may I don't know if they like to be more dominant in the relationship. Okay, so you may be dating somebody that likes to be more dominant. Maybe you like letting them be a little bit dominant. But maybe they take it to a level that is not necessarily healthy for themselves, for the relationship, for you. So they could be showing signs of that. It may be an opportunity to kind of have a conversation to reel it in so that things don't go farther than where they are right now. Let's get into the tarot and see what comes up though. All right. Spiritual team, Sugar Skull Tarot, what messages do you have for the Scorpio collective regarding their person? What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective regarding their person? Let's see. All right, we got the 6 of Wands. Okay, 4 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, 7 of Cups, the Magician. Interesting. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have the Queen of Wands, 8 of Cups in reverse, 8 of Wands in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, 4 of Cups. Ooh, very interesting. I feel like this is so on brand for Scorpios, but I feel like you have somebody that likes to play around with power dynamics. It may have started somewhere in the relationship that was maybe, how do I explain that? It started out in more of like a playful manner, like, let's be real, maybe it started out in the bedroom, right? So maybe you played with power dynamics in the bedroom, being a little bit more dominant, one person being a little bit more submissive, whatever. Maybe it was something that like you hadn't experienced before, you really liked it, so you kind of lean into it, and then maybe it started to translate to other areas of the relationship, and now you're like, I feel like this person is maybe taking this role a little too seriously. Okay. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting. It's like this person does like to dominate, Six of Wands. And I feel like they have good intentions for the most part. I don't think this is like a malicious thing yet. But with this King card in the reverse, I feel like this person could easily turn into one of those people where they use their power to control and manipulate. And I feel like Scorpios, like, what is it about us that we tend to attract relationships like that? I feel like a lot of Scorpios go through that, um, where they have partners that feel like they need to dominate them or put them in their place or lead them in a certain way, like to the point where it becomes even controlling or abusive in some situations. So, Scorpios, that's why I want to address this, because it feels like, again, this person isn't starting out as a bad person, but I feel like there are definitely some signs that this person could, if given the opportunity or pushed in the right way, could end up not being a great person. So I feel like this person, is maybe, and maybe what you like about this person is their discipline, okay, their commitment to excellence. With the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Wands right next to each other, I get this feeling like you admire this person's sense of discipline and like drive and ambition. Um, that's what I get from these two cards. It's so interesting. I've never had that come up before with those two cards, so that's really interesting. I think this makes you feel in a lot of ways like secure. Okay, with the Six of Cups, we can talk about children. What do children value above anything else? Feeling safe and secure with whoever is raising them, right? So I'm not saying you're looking at this person as like a father figure or a mother figure or a parent figure in general, but I just feel like this person has that sense of security and stability that you crave or like to see in a partner. And so that makes you feel safe. It makes your inner child feel safe, okay, in a non weird way. I feel like that could be misconstrued. So I just want to make sure that that's very clear. But what I will say is, I feel like, again, there's some confusion in terms of like, I don't know, who's in charge in this relationship. I feel like you gave this person an inch, they want to take a mile now, kind of a thing. There's some confusion. I think there's maybe some miscommunications or maybe misunderstandings. Maybe you feel like you're giving off the wrong vibe or they're reading you wrong. Like, I feel like as Scorpios, we're super powerful, we're super independent. And, when we also fall in love, we can be, I mean, at least for me in particular, like, I tend to soften. I soften a lot for the right person. You know what I mean? Um, and in some cases, like sometimes it's nice to, let someone else kind of take the reins and like lead every now and then. Not all the time, but sometimes. You know what I mean? And so I think maybe this person feels like you need more leadership than you do. And they're taking it as like, oh, I need to step up and like really show Scorpio like what to do and how to maneuver in certain ways. And I feel like it's becoming a little too much maybe for some of you. That's just what I'm seeing. Um but yeah, I mean, it started out great. I feel like this person came in, they knew exactly what to do, they knew exactly how to treat you because you are a bad bitch, okay? Even if you're not a woman, you can still be a bad bitch and be a man. You can still be a bad bitch and be non binary. Okay, bad bitch is, in my mind, not gender specific, just like in the tarot. You don't have to be a man or you don't have to be a woman to identify with the Queen of Wands. You can be a man, you can be non binary, you can be trans. It does not matter. It's just an energy. Like, you exude this energy of charm, of playfulness, of beauty, of magic. Even the Queen of Wands is very, very magical in a lot of ways. Okay. And to have the Magician card here at the same time, it feels like a lot of you guys are very powerful spiritually. You can call in things to you, you can manifest things very easily, you can make things happen in your life very easily. But when it comes to like maybe navigating certain relationship dynamics, it gets a little tricky, it gets a little sticky. Because maybe, I don't know, someone might think you're a little delulu. And you might be in some ways, but in other ways, not so much. Like, just because I'm soft spoken and gentle, and again, I'm not speaking for all Scorpios. I'm just kind of giving an example from my own personal experience. Just because I'm soft spoken and I'm kind and I go with the flow, I'm very laid back and mellow, doesn't mean I don't see bullshit either. And doesn't mean I can't stand up for myself and I can't do things for myself and I can't be independent. I don't need anybody to take care of me, but I'm willing to let somebody do it on my terms. Okay, don't get it twisted. A Scorpio doesn't ever need you. Okay. A Scorpio never needs you, but we do like wanting somebody that feels stable, that feels like a leader. Sometimes it's nice to be a passenger princess. You know what I'm saying? Your girl can be a passenger princess sometimes, but also sometimes I can drive the car my damn self. Okay? Balance, duality. We're multifaceted. We're not just one specific thing. And I think sometimes people have a hard time understanding that about Scorpios. They're like, well, you presented yourself as this, so I only see you as this. I'm like, well, you're also not seeing all this other shit that's also mixed in with that. I don't know. Again, may have come from miscommunication, may have come from misunderstanding on either person's part. But I do feel like there are some things happening in this relationship that need to be addressed before things go too far. And then we're left like, do I even want this relationship anymore? I don't know. So I definitely feel like there could be some conversations, there could be some topics coming back up that maybe have already been discussed and they need to be rehashed again from a different light, a different perspective. Okay. But I mean, we are in Mercury retrograde right now. That makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on because Mercury just retrograded back into Scorpio in our sign. So we are definitely feeling the effects of this the most outside of Sagittarius's. So there's a big highlight in our lives. So if you guys are having issues in your relationships around this time, then this is definitely the message for you. All right, Scorpios, that's what I'm seeing. I'm going to go ahead and pull from an oracle deck to close out your reading. Let's go ahead and see what comes up. Spiritual team, rebel deck, tarot or oracle. What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Scorpio collective at this time? Okay. Interesting. I already saw the top card and I know it very well. Let's see. What does it say? You're giving too many fucks. Give 0. Interesting. This could be a message for the other person. Maybe they care too much or they feel like you need them more than you do. And I think some of you may be asking this person to just back off a little bit when it comes to their opinion or them wanting you to do things a certain way in the relationship or wanting to make certain decisions in your life, so on and so forth. Like, chill, Bill. I got this. I got this. I'm gonna need you to back up. It's my life, okay? Thanks so much. So there could be a little bit of that going on. What else do we have? Just say those 5 little words. You decide where to eat. Again, I feel like this comes down to like different power dynamics. Some of you guys might like letting the other person decide things for you in the bedroom, when it comes to eating, when it comes to making joint decisions as a family. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna let you decide on this one because I don't know what to do. I'm open to whatever. And then in other instances, you're like, I have a firm opinion on this. I don't want to do that. And this person's will like, but I make the decisions in the relationship. You're like, well, actually, we make them together. I just let you make that decision the other day because I wanted you to make that decision. I didn't want to make that decision. Does that make sense? So again, I feel like there needs to be balance. There needs to be context. There needs to be an understanding that, like, while I may let you do things for me, so on and so forth. And again, this is just very specific, and this is just an example. It may not resonate for every Scorpio out there. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest. But I just feel like there is some sort of like power dynamic that is infiltrating different areas of this relationship that just need to be addressed in whatever way that looks like to you. Could be different for every Scorpio out there. So again, I'm just giving examples from experience. All right. And finally, at the bottom of the deck, it says you're hot, smart, and got a great ass. And I know that's right. At the back, it says your person is lucky. Remind them. Who is the prize here, Scorpio? You. And don't let them forget it. Again, I feel like this person's starting to get a little bit of an ego. Entitlement. Okay. Even that came up in the King card, right? Entitlement, rulership, can turn into dictatorship, can turn into controlling or control. Just remember, like, you are that bitch. And this person, if this person starts to forget that you're that bitch, you might have to go and remind them. I'm not one for toxic shit, but you know what? You might have to go and remind them, either through a conversation, by holding up a mirror to their own actions and showing them where the fuck they're wrong at. Okay. Choose your own adventure, but choose wisely. When it comes to handling this, every situation is different. So, yeah, I'm just, choose wisely. All right, Scorpios, that is what I'm seeing for the love department. Let's go ahead and move on to your general reading and see what else Spirit has in store for you. I will see you guys there. All right, Scorpios, let's get into your general reading. Spiritual team, Citadel Fantasy Oracle, what messages do you have for the Scorpio Collective? What messages do you have for the Scorpio Collective at this time? What do we have? The Masquerade in reverse, hiding your true self, and maybe a little bit of projection. Okay. What's at the bottom of the deck? We have the Astronomer, Discovery, and Augury. I'm not sure what Augury means. I'm gonna have to look that up when I get off this video. But it's giving somebody who is, you know what it is? Some of you guys are doing some shadow work, which is so fitting. We're in Mercury retrograde. Some of you guys could be doing some shadow work. Some of you guys could be looking at how you show up in the world authentically, what sort of masks you wear, what sort of masks you put on, how that affects your relationships, how that affects opportunities you get, past, present, future. You guys may be analyzing, revisiting, and really trying to decide like who you want to show up as to the external world, right? I'm not saying like put everything out there. You don't have to do that. And knowing as Scorpios, we don't always want to share everything about ourselves, and I get it. But I definitely feel like, and this is something I've been experiencing too, so I feel like other Scorpios can probably relate to this right now, but I feel like figuring out who our public persona is really important to us right now, and figuring out, obviously, what kind of guards we can let down, even potentially. I don't know. It could be a number of things, but let's get into the tarot and see what comes up. Spiritual team, Sugar Skull Tarot, what messages do you have for the Scorpio Collective at this time? What messages do you have for the Scorpio Collective at this time? What's going on, Scorpios? What do we have? We got the Page of Cups in reverse. We got the Hermit. We got the Nine of Pentacles, the Emperor, the Hanged Man in reverse. Oh, 1,000%. This is deep self-reflection. The Page of Cups in reverse, probably inner child work. Okay, Hermit card. Ain't nobody going outside right now. The Scorpios are not outside. We are by ourselves with this Nine of Pentacles. Tending to our own lives, internal, emotional, physical, spiritual, and mental. We're really focused on ourselves. All right, what else we got? Bottom of the deck. Nine of Wands in reverse. We have the Star card, Hierophant in reverse, Chariot, Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It may feel like you're not making progress. But once Mercury retrograde is over, you'll start to come out of that feeling. It won't feel like you're moving so slow or like you're stopped completely. A lot of you guys may feel like you have blockages. There's roadblocks, there's obstacles here with you trying to move forward in some way. Okay, physically, this could have to do with your physical appearance. Whenever I get pentacles, I think of like the physical body. So some of you guys could be struggling with like weight or diet, something like that. You're not seeing progress the way that you want to if you're working on health in general. And some of you guys could also be experiencing like burnout. Some of you guys could be experiencing emotional ups and downs, which is honestly the last couple of weeks I've been feeling that as well, between the full moon in Taurus, the new moon in Scorpio, and Mercury retrograde happening in Scorpio for the next 10 days, or depending on when you're seeing it. It'll be over November 29th, but for the next couple of weeks, I'll say there's just a lot going on emotionally, mentally, and spiritually with us. So for a lot of you guys, you may be feeling burnt out. You may be feeling like, what's the point in moving forward? What's the point in being an adult? What's the point in being mature? What's the point in being kind to people that aren't kind to me? And I think there's a lot of like inner soul searching work being done, trying to figure out like who it is you want to be, who you want to show up as, right? What you want the world to see, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind with this Star card. I think it's so easy to give up and just give the world the cold shoulder and treat them exactly the way that they've treated you. Honestly, I've been feeling that way a lot the last couple of weeks. But I also know that that is not the kind of legacy I want to leave behind, and nor do I want to add to the bullshit that is already being thrown around this world energetically by dumbasses. So I think some of you guys may be struggling with something like that. Some of you guys may just be struggling in general to figure out like what makes you truly happy in this world, what feels genuinely authentic to you. And honestly, it feels like this is the personality you want to show to the world, to the external world, who you are behind the scenes when you come home and you take off your makeup and whatever from the day, like whoever you are at home, God bless, that person can be completely different from who you are. They can be a little bit more sarcastic, a little bit more pessimistic than you are at work. Like you might be so bubbly and so joyful and whatever at work, but at home you're just like, oh God, the world sucks. But we're still gonna get up and we're gonna make the most out of whatever life we have. I know it got a little dark there for a second, but like that's the thing about Scorpios is we have that duality. We have that ability to be like, I see the great things in this world. I see the great opportunities in front of me, but I'm also hyper aware of the bullshit and the heaviness, and sometimes we just internalize that, right? And so it's very easy to get down or depressed sometimes, right? And I say that in quotes because some people might say we're depressed, but for us, it's just a normal state of being aware. Okay, take it how you want to take it how it resonates. But ultimately, what I'm seeing right now for the Scorpios is a lot of internal work, a lot of hermit mode, a lot of self isolation, but self isolation in not sadness or depression, but more so of like I'm doing the work and I can't give myself to others or to other things right now. I need to pour that into myself right now. Um, I feel like a lot of you guys are bossing up, and not just in business or at work, but in terms of like your own life. A lot of you guys are taking on um, being more disciplined, being more proactive in your life, being more proactive in your joy, even being more proactive in general. Um, in terms of like creating the life that you want, creating the persona that you want. I just feel like for me personally, it's been showing up as like being a little bit less, mm, being a little bit less gentle with the world and being a little bit more stern, being a little bit more quote unquote hardened. Um, but just being more serious, portraying myself as someone who's a lot more serious. Whereas I used to be someone who's very playful, very jokey, jokey, hee hee, haha. Like we can have fun. Life doesn't have to be that serious. But I'm also realizing like some people don't feel confident in that kind of person when I'm doing specific things or specific types of work. So I have to show up differently in certain spaces. And again, my professional life versus my personal life can be two completely different people. But just being conscious of it and owning it and committing to it and all of that, right? So, bottom line, what I am seeing is that you guys are taking a little bit of an unconventional approach to this internal work. I think there is some really deeply ingrained things that maybe you were taught or you learned throughout your childhood that you are rehabilitating, maybe that's a better word. Um, Taking a look at it and recognizing too that, you know what, I'm not normal. That's okay too, to not be normal. And to show up as that not normal self and to know that you have a different perspective or a different voice than other people. Highlighting that, showcasing that for the positive, owning that, being, more authentically you and owning that. I know I just said that twice. I'm so sorry, but my brain is moving faster than my mouth and I'm losing my track of my thoughts. But hopefully you guys get the point. I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to close out the reading with a couple of oracle decks. Ultimately, what I'm seeing is this just is a period of reflection, deep reflection, and I feel like that's something that will get clearer in terms of where it is that you want to go and how you need to navigate certain things by the end of Mercury retrograde. All right. Spiritual team, Green Witch Oracle, what final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective at this time? What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective at this time? Let's see what we got. We have ritual. Okay, some of you guys may be developing some very specific rituals. Maybe this is a workout routine. Maybe this is a skincare routine. Maybe there is something that you are developing, practicing, putting into practice right now that means a lot to you. That feels like almost like self care in a way. This could even be a ritual of getting into your public persona of like staring yourself down in the mirror and saying, I'm that bitch, repeatedly every morning before you leave. Maybe you're getting up earlier and you're hitting the gym every day. I don't know. Maybe you're journaling more at the end of every day or every week. Maybe you're getting more into spiritual practices and rituals that feel grounding for you, things like that. We also have regeneration. Didn't I feel like I said rehabilitating. That gives regeneration to me, and that's such a Scorpio word to use because we all are associated with the phoenix, which is the ultimate regenerator. It dies as, it bursts into flames and then it regenerates and starts all over again as an infant. I mean, it feels like this is a regeneration period for us Scorpios. We are really doing the deep work. We are clipping the things that no longer align with who we are, who we're becoming. We're taking ownership of that, and we are re-emerging as a phoenix, as a butterfly, whatever metaphor you want to use. But it does feel like a big regeneration moment for us. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have leadership, which is definitely the Emperor energy. It's bossing up, taking ownership of your own life, taking leadership in your personal world, your professional world, public, whatever. There's definitely something emerging here that is stronger, that is an authority figure, a role model, a leader of some kind. I feel like we're getting stronger. And I don't know if the world is ready for that. And I love it because I like when people are terrified a little bit. Anyways, and that's me being silly. All right. Scorpios, let's go ahead and close this out with one final deck. Spiritual team, tea leaf fortune cards. What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective? What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective at this time? Let's do one more shuffle and we'll go to the other half of the deck. Spiritual team, tea leaf fortune cards. What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective? What final messages do you have for the Scorpio collective? Sometimes these cards take a minute to jump out of the deck. This is the only deck that I don't pull from the top if nothing flips out. So I always try and let them come out organically and naturally from this deck. All right. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but we did get 3 cards, so let's take a look and see what they say. We have the dog, protection from a powerful friend. Interesting. I did not pick up on anything, but this could be this. So for some of you, this may be the catalyst for you guys in terms of this regeneration. You're trying to understand how you can protect yourselves, but also be authentically you at the same time. Sorry about that, Scorpios. My phone is running out of storage, so I'm going to try and make this brief and quick. Ultimately, you may have a friend that you was the catalyst for this transformation period or regeneration period. You may feel like you need to protect yourselves in a way, but also remain authentically yourself in a different way. What else? We have the throne, position of authority. Okay, some of you guys may be entering a new job or career or some sort of position that puts you in a leadership style role. May not even be like a traditional role. You might be an influencer for all you know what I mean? But in general, I feel like taking ownership of who you are, your personality, and how you are perceived is going to play a big important role in terms of like your next chapter professionally. Finally, we have the shark, take care or there will be a loss of material wealth. Interesting. So I think a lot of you guys are also in this transition period, potentially financially, which is where this Knight of Pentacles in reverse is coming up. Some of you guys literally may be having financial issues or struggling to find work or progress in some sort of way professionally. So just be really careful about that. But I feel like you guys are kind of including that in your things that you're working on, your to-do list, so to speak. All right, Scorpios, that's what I'm seeing for you guys. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the reading, if you feel like it resonated. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the future, and maybe share this with another Scorpio if you feel like it would resonate for them. If you want to see more content from me, I'm also on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me via the handles below in my description box, and those are the only 2 places you can reach out to me to schedule a personal reading. I'm still working on getting my website set up, so until then, please DM me on TikTok and Instagram. As always, though, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. I hope to see you guys at the next reading. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Bye.